Has Warren been consulted about this?
Warren trusts his attorneys to come up with the most compelling case possible for his defense. He'll go along with whatever they decide.
Don't be too sure, Julia. Once you put me on the stand, who knows what secrets might come out?
If you're talking about your opinion that Warren is guilty, the jury already knows that. But if you try to nail him up there, Mason, if you try to twist the facts to make him look guilty, they're going to know that, too.
Julia, I'm telling you, this is a mistake.
No, the mistake is your one-track mind. You refuse to believe that there's anybody else in this whole world who would try to kill you besides Warren.
Are you referring to anyone in particular?
I don't know who fired the gun, Mason. All I know is that whoever tried to kill you then very well may try to kill you now. And I would watch your back if I were you, or your front, whatever you consider more valuable.
There's a comforting thought.
Will you tell the jury what your connection with the Capwell family is?
My mother has been a housekeeper for the Capwell family since before I was born. Later, I became involved with Channing Capwell Jr., and we had a son named Brandon.
And are you still friendly with the family?
Well, I work for Mr. Capwell.
I see. And in what capacity?
I'm his interior designer.
Do you feel that this assignment to redesign the Capwell house is an important one to you?
Yes. Mr. Capwell gave me a business opportunity, which I accepted, and as a result, my business has begun to prosper here in Santa Barbara.
Objection. We're all just delighted that Miss Andrade's decorating business is doing well, but it has nothing to do with this case. I object to this line of
trying to
questioning.
show at what cost Miss Andrade has come forward in support of Mr. Lockridge.
Overruled. But do cut to the chase, Counselor.
Miss Andrade, are you aware that Warren Lockridge is on trial here not only for the killing of Amado Gonzalez, but also the attempted murder of Mason Capwell?
Yes, I am. But I also know the kind of man that he is. Now, Warren is a giver, not a taker. He's dedicated his life to helping people he doesn't even know, so it is inconceivable to me that he would take a life.
Why do you think he's on trial here?
Because I believe the Capwell family has put pressure on the prosecution, and the prosecution has gone after an innocent man.
Objection. Whatever Miss Andrade's theories are, they are irrelevant. She could think that Warren Lockridge was the man in the moon, and it wouldn't make it so.
Sustained. We're interested in facts, not opinions.
No further questions. Your witness.
Miss Andrade, where have you spent the last 3 years?
I was hospitalized here in Santa Barbara.
Weren't you in the psychiatric ward suffering from
Objection!
paranoid? Weren't you addicted to prescription drugs?
I'm recovered, and that fact came out here in this very courtroom.
No further questions.
We will have order. Redirect.
Now, isn't it a fact that you have been given a clean bill of health by reputable professionals? And isn't it also a fact that you were held there under false pretenses?
Yes, just the same way that Warren is being held in prison under false pretenses.
Objection.
No further questions.
You may step down. Call Suzanne Collier.
Since you tell us you're not a professional photographer, how did you come to take this picture?
Warren asked me to do it.
And how did you come to be present when it was developed?
Warren asked me to be there.
Not a smart move for a man planning a murder. Why was he so eager to have the film developed?
Well, when he found out that I had taken pictures at the time of the murder, he was very excited. He was hoping that I had taken a picture of the killer.
But if he was the killer, why would he want you to be present when he was developing the photograph that could incriminate him?
Obviously, he wouldn't. Obviously, he wasn't the killer.
Objection. I can't believe you would allow that conclusion, Your Honor.
Strike it from the record. Your witness.
Miss Collier, what do you do for a living?
I work at the Santa Barbara Conscience.
And who owns that paper?
Warren Lockridge.
What would happen to your job if you came up here and testified against him?
Objection. Calls for a conclusion on the part of the witness.
No, I'd like to answer that. I wouldn't get fired if that's what you're suggesting. Warren and the paper are dedicated to telling the truth no matter who it hurts, and I have told the truth. You know, if you only knew him, you would see that he was incapable of lying, let alone getting a gun and coldly pulling the trigger.
You speak with great passion about your boss. Do you feel deeply about him?
Yes, I do.
How deeply?
I think he's one of the finest men I've ever known.
You single, Miss Collier?
What? Yes, I'm...
Objection! What is the relevance?
Mr. Marley?
I'm trying to establish the reason for this witness's bias, Your Honor.
Objection overruled.
By some happy chance, Mr. Lockridge happens to be single, and I believe the word for rich, good-looking bachelor is eligible. Am I right?
Objection!
The witness's testimony is in the form of a personal endorsement. I mean, the jury is entitled to know her motivations.
Overruled. Answer the question.
Yes, Mr. Lockridge is single and good-looking and eligible, but that has nothing to do with our...
Just answer the questions I ask. Have you ever had a date with Mr. Lockridge?
No, absolutely not.
Have you ever wanted one?
No.
Well, why not?
Excuse me?
Well, here you are working for this paragon of virtue that you describe, a man who obviously inspires great passion in you, and yet going out with him never entered your mind.
Our relationship is not about that.
Things have certainly changed since I was young and single. Unless, of course, you're already spoken for. Is that it? Is there another man in your life?
There's one.
Things certainly have changed. Unless you're not telling us the whole story.
If you're insinuating that I've had an intimate relationship with Warren Lockridge, you are dead wrong.
But hope springs eternal, right?
Objection!
Sustained.
No further questions.
We're in recess. 10 minutes.
All rise.
Sorry.
You done great, kid. You know something? Maybe Marley was right. I should have been chasing you around the office. Get this tape to Mac as soon as you can.
You okay? It's pretty rough on you.
I'm fine. Did you hear what he did to Suzanne?
Yes, I told you that Marley plays hardball. But then so do you. You said some pretty unflattering things about the Capo family.
Well, I warned you, Cece.
Yes, you did. Come on home. Drive you home and we'll sit down and talk about a few things. Okay?
Did you get the paperwork?
I've got somebody working on it.
What paperwork? What are you talking about?
David is going to subpoena Mason as a witness for the defense. Julia, no.
Are you nuts? The guy has volunteered to be my executioner.
Exactly. How will it seem to a jury if he's forced to admit that you had a gun on him and didn't use it?
No, this is a mistake, a very big mistake.
We're in trouble here, Warren. We need his testimony.
This is my life and my trial, and I say no. I will not allow you to get him back up on that witness stand.
Warren is right. This is a bad idea.
That's it. This game is over. If you want us to continue as your defense team, then you have to level with us. Now, what is it Mason might say on that stand that you don't want the jury to hear?